The time is 4:30, and this is WKYT This Morning. 4 people are facing charges after 2 different murders in Lee County. We'll have the latest on that just ahead this morning.
A boy was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries after falling into a pond at the Lexington Cemetery. Details of what happened coming up.
And a stretch of road in Hardin County has been renamed to honor a fallen firefighter. That story and your weather forecast for this brand new week on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, and it's so good to have you on WKYT as we get this Monday started. I'm Bill Bryant.
I'm Rebecca Smith. Hope you're having a fabulous start to your Monday. Gonna see what the weather has in store for us today.
It's been different here lately, hasn't it? Let's check in with meteorologist Micah Harris. See what's up. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. And as of late, I mean, we've gone through these patterns where you get that rain every single day. You take a day or two off, and then we bring it right back in the forecast. And guess what? That's going to happen again this week. Yesterday was really, really nice. Saturday, we had a few showers, a few rumbles of thunder. But today it's going to be more like mainly dry and with that small chance of rain. So it'll start to pick up in the upcoming days. Temperatures are in the 60s and 70s. It actually feels really nice outside. It's not a bad day at all. 86 degrees, small chance of rain. It's another day where most of us take the dry note. But after this, it's going to change big time. In our forecast, some tropical moisture comes heading our way. That means rain. And I'll show you that in your forecast coming up.
Very good. Let's get to the news. 4 people are facing murder charges in Lee County this morning. Investigators say they killed 2 men.
And they say the case is a complicated one. State police found the first victim, Billy Rourke, on Hell Creek Road Friday. They found the second victim, named James Brown, on the same road the next night, on Saturday evening. WKYT's Caitlin Sentner talked with Rourke's family.
Nubbin is what I call him.
Bridget Barnes made her way down to eastern Kentucky as soon as she heard the news.
I know we're never going to get over it. No, it's not going to be the same without Nubbin being here.
Her nephew, Billy Rourke, police say was murdered Friday. Barnes says she needed to be in town to support her sister-in-law.
She went to see his body laying there. It's nothing I would want to do. A mother ain't supposed to bury their children. Their children's supposed to bury us.
Family says a lot of rumors have been going on around Beattyville. They only know one of the men that's been arrested. They say that's Wesley Johnson. A family member says he went to high school with them.
Police say Johnson called 911 saying his friend Billy had been shot. KSP first put Anthony Taylor behind bars. Saturday, police found James Brown dead in the same area off Hell Creek Road. They say Kevin Kendall led them to that body. Kendall is behind bars, now accompanied by Johnson and Cassandra White. Friends of Rourke say he'd been hanging around the wrong crowd.
He tried to straighten his life up, but he was always around the wrong people. Some of those that are involved.
Brittany McQueen is hoping for justice.
He had a good heart, and no matter what he did or what people say he did, he was a good person, and, nobody deserves what he got.
He should be took out and done the same way that they done him.
In Lee County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
We've been tracking this investigation all weekend long. You can find the latest developments on our website, WKYT.com.
A boy was rushed to the hospital with life-threatening injuries after falling into a pond at the Lexington Cemetery. Police say the 11-year-old and 2 other children were fishing at the pond yesterday when the boy slipped and fell in. Investigators think the 3 sneaked into the cemetery. WKYT's Garrett Weimer has the story.
Lexington Cemetery was closed, but divers with the Lexington Fire Department pulled an 11-year-old boy from the pond after investigators say he fell in while fishing.
There is about a 4-foot drop into the pond, and then there's no way to get an egress or to get out of the pond.
Firefighters say they found the boy in 7 to 8 feet of water. They think he was in there for half an hour.
Longest part of that time was the other individuals that were with that person at the pond there obviously is no phone out in the middle of the cemetery. They had to run quite a ways to find someone.
That someone was a groundskeeper at Cove Haven Cemetery next door. She tells me 2 young kids, one 5 years old, the other 8, came running up to her with fishing line wrapped around their legs. She cut them loose and called for help. The manager of Cove Haven Cemetery says kids cut through their cemetery all the time. She says something's got to happen to prevent more tragedies from happening.
Please talk to your children. This is just not a playground over here.
After a man drowned in the Lexington Cemetery pond just over a week ago, police say they're concerned. They don't want it becoming a tragic habit.
So we'll be working with our partners here at Lexington Cemetery to hopefully come up with a solution as to what we could do to make that safer.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And investigators say the drowning was a terrible accident. They do not plan to file any charges. Police in Kansas City, Kansas are dealing with a tragedy at a water park. They say a 12-year-old boy died yesterday on what is billed as the world's largest water slide. A Schlitterbahn Park spokeswoman says the child died on the park's main attraction, a 168-foot tall slide. Right now, they are not saying how he died. The park will be closed today, and the ride will be closed until the death investigation is completed.
Awful. We're still waiting to learn the identity of a woman who was found dead outside a Lexington apartment complex. Officers found the woman's body just after 6 yesterday morning on Cross Keys Road. They've not said what or who led them to the body, but they do think she died shortly before they arrived. A mother of 4 who lives in the area says she's concerned for her family's safety.
People come around here and they think they can just take people's lives without having no remorse. You didn't give that person that life. You don't have the right to take it away from them.
Police are calling it a homicide. The coroner has not yet released a cause for the woman's death. An Owsley County woman who was accused of murdering her parents and was released from jail Friday is back behind bars. State police say Lynette McQuinn shot and killed her parents at their home in Boonville back in May. The jail told us that they had to release her Friday because a grand jury had not yet indicted her. The Commonwealth has 60 days to present a case to the grand jury for indictment. But yesterday morning, 48 hours after her release, troopers arrested McQuinn again, this time on burglary and drug possession charges. Police say they caught McQuinn trying to break into the back door of her parents' home.
Deputies in Montgomery County still investigating a deadly crash on Interstate 64. The sheriff says yesterday afternoon a semi-truck was slowing down in the westbound lanes near mile marker 104 when the pickup truck behind it slammed into it. The truck was pulling a utility trailer that ended up in the median. The crash blocked lanes in both directions for several hours. The sheriff says 2 people inside the truck, a man and a woman, died.
Well, we're going to take the vehicle more likely inside the building instead of extraditing and getting them out of the scene right now. We're going to take it inside, and we'll go ahead and more likely cut them out from the fire station.
Investigators are trying to figure out why the semi-truck slowed down and why the truck behind it did not. The names of the 2 people killed have not been released this morning. Emergency crews rushed the pilot to a hospital last night after his plane made an emergency landing in Shelby County. Investigators say the pilot left Frankfurt's capital city airport and radioed for help shortly after takeoff. He said he was having engine trouble and landed the plane on Grubbs Lane in Shelby County. Crews at the scene say the pilot has some leg injuries and a possible fracture.
People in Hardin County have renamed a stretch of road in honor of a fallen firefighter. Jonathan French died 2 years ago. A semi hit the fire engine he was working out of. At the time, his crew was fighting a car fire on Interstate 65. This weekend, the city of Glendale renamed a stretch of road outside a volunteer fire station. The memorial sign stands at the intersection of New Glendale Road and Kentucky 222.
We never know from one day to the next how it's going to be. I mean, it's just the blink of an eye. It could be really emotional, and then the next blink of an eye, everybody be laughing and cutting up and having a good time.
Glendale Fire Chief Richard Peters called the sign a living memorial to French's family. Of the 23 volunteers in the department, 5 are related to French. His mother, who was injured in the same crash, still serves as a volunteer.
We have a traffic advisory for you this morning. Both directions of North 3rd Street in Nicholasville are blocked near the railroad bridge overpass right now. Authorities say a vehicle has hit an electrical pole overnight. Repairs are not expected to be done to the pole until about 7 o'clock this morning. Again, that is 3rd Street in Nicholasville. WKYT this morning just getting started. We're glad you're along on this Monday. The time now coming up on 4:40.
A new warning about common household products that could be negatively impacting the development of young children. That story coming up.
Well, it's another day where most of us are going to be dry. However, there's still a small chance of rain in one particular area. I'll show you that and also show you these rain chances on the increase the next several days. I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Not really anything going on this morning. Temperatures are pretty nice. Outside, the way it looks is pretty nice. And it's just one of those mornings that we don't get much around here during this time of year. I mean, we're in the 60s this morning. It's a pretty good feel, and we haven't felt that in quite some time. So there's a look on Defender Radar Network. Let's check out temperatures again and show you where the warmest spot is located. That's down toward the southeast. This is where we have a few clouds located. And where you don't have the clouds, you're in the 60s. It's 64 degrees in Mount Sterling, Maysville. Go into Carlisle, work your way back towards Cynthiana. I mean, that's a very good feel this time of year, so we will take that. 64 now in Boyle County. And as we go through the day, there's really not a good chance of rain today. 86 by the afternoon. Most of us stay dry again, but the problem is down toward the southeast, you again have that chance of rain. Yesterday was really nice, and there was an isolated shower here or there. But today, I think it's a little better opportunity for you guys down toward the south and the east. I mean, if you get toward the Howard Rogers Parkway and go south, that's the best bet into the mountainous regions of actually picking up a shower or a few rumbles of thunder. So for the most part, most of us stay dry. Southeast, that's the best opportunity to see some rain for today. So I've highlighted that area where I expect that. Across the region, we can't rule out a pop-up shower here or there. It's only 10%. Like I said, virtually all of us stay dry, but down toward the southeast, Pikeville, Hazard, Pine Knot, you work your way down toward Middlesboro, London, Corbin. Those areas will have the best opportunity to see a few showers, a few rumbles of thunder coming in from the south. And that is the setup we're going to be dealing with the next several days, is all this moisture streaming in from the south, the Gulf of Mexico, and it's going to be driving right into our region the next few days. Tuesday, Wednesday, really Tuesday through this weekend, there is at the least, check that out, the 40% chance of rain. It will be, some flash flooding issues here and there as we travel through your week. But the good news here is that some areas Saturday did not pick up any rain. Friday was actually pretty nice for the most part. Sunday was really dry for all. And then we get into today where it's mostly dry. I mean, we've had a few dry days in store for most everybody. And so there's some good news for us. Saturday, I know we had a few storms, especially I64 southbound. But for the most part, we've been mainly dry, and that's helped us out tremendously, trying to get those creeks and streams down. That's exactly what we need to do. Looks like we've been doing that, but here comes more rain just to add to the problem that we've had past couple of weeks. Unfortunately, but it's there.
Oh, well.
What do you do?
Very much all of a sudden situation.
That's right. That's right. You bet.
All right, Micah, thank you very much. It is coming up on 4:46 now, and it's impossible to avoid chemical exposure in your home.
But you may want to take a closer look at reducing it, and Moms Every Day tells us why.
We all want to protect our children and give them the best possible start to life. But that's getting more challenging as hidden danger lurks in common household products.
According to a report released by the University of Illinois, there is more evidence that common and widely available chemicals endanger neurodevelopment in fetuses and children of all ages. Along with mercury and lead, pesticides used in agriculture and home gardens, phthalates found in pharmaceuticals, plastics, and personal care products, flame retardants, and air pollutants are of utmost concern. Phthalates are a group of chemicals used to make plastics more flexible and harder to break. The report appears in the journal Environmental Health Perspectives. Prenatal exposures to phthalates is linked to attention deficits, lower IQ, and conduct disorders in children. The researchers say there are regulatory lapses that allow dangerous chemicals to be in our lives with little or no review of their effects on fetal and child health.
For ways to reduce chemical exposure in your home, visit momseveryday.com. For Moms Every Day, I'm Liz Hayes.
For these tips and more, go to WKYT.com, click on Moms Every Day.
And right there, of course, we have the latest news and weather and school start dates as well, which a lot of folks go back to school this week. 4:47 now on WKYT This Morning.
The election is 13 weeks away. Hillary Clinton has a sizable lead in the polls. We'll have more campaign coverage when we come back. Welcome back. It's 4:50 this morning. The election about 13 weeks away. Hillary Clinton has a sizable lead right now in many polls.
Supporters for both she and Donald Trump hit the Sunday morning talk shows. Wendy Gillette takes a look at the campaign.
Donald Trump's support is sliding after a rough week. A new Washington Post ABC News poll finds the Republican nominee has the support of 42% of likely voters, compared to 50% for Hillary Clinton. According to a CBS News Battleground Tracker poll, Clinton is also ahead of Trump in key swing states, up by 12 points in Virginia, 2 points in Nevada. But Trump is hoping to make up ground Monday in Detroit, where he'll give a speech on the economy. His plan is to slash corporate taxes from 35% to 15%.
Mr. Speaker, his numbers don't add up.
Of course not. I mean, I think that historically, no candidate's numbers add up.
Clinton will offer up her own vision for the economy Thursday. She's hoping to move attention away from her use of a private email server when she was Secretary of State. The issue resurfaced Sunday with news that Iran executed an Iranian nuclear scientist who was also a U.S. spy.
In the emails that were on Hillary Clinton's private server, there were conversations among her senior advisors about this gentleman. That goes to show just how reckless and careless her decisions was to put that kind of highly classified information on a private server.
Clinton's running mate came to her defense.
I have heard Hillary Clinton say over and over again, when I've been sitting next to her and when I've watched her on TV, that with respect to the emails, I made a mistake and I've learned something and I wouldn't do it again.
Clinton holds her next campaign event in Florida Monday. Wendy Gillette for CBS News, New York.
And both candidates will present their economic plans this week in Michigan. Here in Kentucky, the race for U.S. Senate is heating up. Senator Rand Paul and Lexington Mayor Jim Gray are running for the Senate spot on the ballot this November. The two went face-to-face Saturday for the first time at the annual Fancy Farm Picnic in Graves County in western Kentucky. Last night, Senator Rand Paul's campaign announced he will be holding town halls this week in Glasgow, Somerset, London, and Florence. He will be in Somerset and London tomorrow. We checked Gray's campaign schedule. So far, he has no listed appearances.
Hundreds of people have signed a petition asking the Cincinnati Bengals to change their name. The petition on change.org is asking the team to change their name to the Cincinnati Harambes. Back in May, Cincinnati Zoo leaders there shot and killed a gorilla named Harambe after a little boy climbed into the enclosure. At last check this morning, the petition had more than 6,000 signatures. The man who started it says the Cleveland Browns named their team after a former coach who made a big impact on the city. So he wants the Bengals to change their name in honor of Harambe. The man plans to deliver the petition to city leaders and to the Bengals organization. A temporary water feature in downtown Lexington will stay open for a few more weeks. Splash Jam was scheduled to close on Wednesday, the first day of classes in Fayette County, but the park posted on Facebook they will actually close September 5th. The park is in Lexington's northeastern park. It's open 10 in the morning till 8 at night each day. Those hours could change when school gets back going.
All right, a little extension there.
Yeah,
Even
I'm sure there will be some happy people about that.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, it's good to have you with us bright and early here on your Monday morning. Coming up next, WKYT with a look at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast.
Hey, good morning to you. Welcome back in. Our time this morning is 4:57 on WKYT on your Monday morning.
Let's take a look right now at some of the stories we're working on for you this morning.
A child has been taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries after falling into a Lexington cemetery pond. We'll have the latest on the boy's condition coming up in just a few minutes.
And let's get a look at the weather right now with Micah.
It actually feels really nice outside. We're at 66 degrees right now in Lexington, 64 if you roll down the I64 corridor into Montgomery County and you work your way south and southeast. Here's the difference. Look at 70 degrees. The reason why, clouds are overhead, and that is the area. It's kind of a precursor of what we can expect later on this afternoon, is most of this is going to be down toward the southeast. Only a small chance of rain, but a 40% toward the mountainous regions, and then the farther you get back toward the west and northwest, you're dropping those percentages tremendously. So most of us stay dry today, just can't roll out that chance of rain, but in the upcoming days, looks pretty wet. I'll have that in your forecast another 2 hours. WKYT News.